As night falls in Singapore, the track starts to warm up, and it'll be red hot by the time we find out who's on pole for tomorrow's race. Time to set the grid then. Welcome along to qualifying here in Singapore.
Hello everybody, it's Joe here and welcome back to my F1 24 career mode journey. We have arrived at the Marina Bay circuit in Singapore. This is the Singapore Grand Prix and we are heading towards the closing quarter of the F1 season. If you haven't seen the last race, go back and check that one out before you see this one. Well, we had a big result in Baku and I'm hoping to follow it up with another big result here. The car is looking competitive and we are making a lot of positive moves forward. It's been a very good season so far. I've achieved my goal of having a top 5, but let's see if we can get another podium before the season's end. I'm aiming to be on that podium a couple more times because we know now that the pace is there in the car. We can do it. First up though is Q1 and we've got through that quite nicely. We're only a little bit shy of Fernando Alonso but in the top 10. So that fills me with confidence that we can get past Q2 as well. Now we didn't get through Q2 in Baku, so hopefully we can do it here and give ourselves less work to do in the race. So far the pace is looking pretty decent. We were in the top 10 in Q1, so I see no reason why we can't do the same thing in Q2. Out of the last corner then, flicking it round the left-hander. It's currently P8, so I don't know if that is going to be enough. We are going again, even though we're sat on the cusp of the elimination zone. I felt it better to go round again, and we do improve, moving into 8th. Is that going to be enough? The answer is yes. By just over a tenth, we have managed to squeeze through into Q3. The rain has started to fall as we get into Q3, however, so it means that setting this lap, it's going to be slippery and we're only really going to get one chance to do it. I've kissed the barrier there and I'm just trying to take as much speed as I dare. Even though the sprinkling of rain is falling, I'm hoping my time can be somewhat competitive compared to what the front-running pace is. Russell set a 34. I'm now trying to see if I can get as close to that as possible for every corner. There's just not a massive amount of grip available where the track is getting damper. And Hamilton set a 35, so he's not looking particularly quick. And I fear that we're one of the last on a flying lap, so we might struggle here. 29, 30, 31, 32. I think this is going to put us in P10, and it does. So it is going to be P10 for the Singapore Grand Prix. We were just a little too late setting the lap, but the pace overall looks pretty encouraging, so we should be able to get some points from this one.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Things have changed slightly around the Marina Bay circuit with 4 corners removed between turns 16 and 19. It means the lap length is now just over 3 miles, and that might come as a welcome relief to the drivers, and more especially their brakes. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Norris, Sainz, Hamilton, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Sunshine, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Albon, Stroll, Leclerc, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Bottas, Ocon, Sargent, and Yuki Tsunoda. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me in the commentary box today, former racing driver herself, Naomi Schiff. Let's look at their season, and particularly against their teammate. Fair to say, they've got the better of them more often than not. Now, sadly, things didn't work out for them last time. It was a bad race. Question is, though, can they recover today?
It is true they had a really tough day in the office last time out, but they cannot dwell on that. It's so important to turn the page and start on a blank slate, because the more you dwell on that, the less it's going to push you in the right direction. So take some notes. Obviously, there's things to be learned, but move on.
A long race lies ahead of us in the damp conditions of Singapore, but it is set to dry up, so hopefully it dries up quite quickly. We are underway here, and we've not really got the best getaway, but I'm going to try and hold position. And we're already losing out into turn 1 to Gasly, but I'm going to try and keep an outside line here. And I'm going to try and go around the outside of these guys, finding room where it doesn't necessarily exist. And actually, we've gone around the outside of Perez and Piastri. Oh, Perez is getting through there, as is Piastri. But if we can brake later here and just sort of squeeze our way through, that's we have done. And we are up into P7 now. Hamilton and Sainz ahead, and that is a very decent opening sector for us to move into P7. Hamilton and Sainz ahead, and Perez and Piastri behind. Perez having a little look, but there's nothing he can do there, unfortunately for him. But it's a good start, encouraging first lap in P7, and I want to try and stay with these guys if I can, because that'll give me more opportunities later into the race. But for now, let's just settle in, try and find a rhythm, and if there is a way past these guys, find it. If not, just settle into the race and wait and see what comes to us. It's a long race, it's 31 laps, and we have dropped back a little bit from Sainz and Hamilton, but it's not too far, and it's not too discouraging at all. We're looking at a pretty good place for now in P7 as we clip that apex beautifully. They are just a little bit quicker than us ahead, so I want to try and stay to within a reasonable gap if I can. If I can sort of stay within 3-4 seconds, then maybe a cleverly timed pit stop could make me move forwards just a little bit more. But for now, while it's damp, let's try and stay with them. And in fact, we have managed to stay with them quite well. And the rain has now stopped on lap 7, so this should help. If we can pit in and chance our pit stop, make an early one for slicks, take a bit of a gamble, we might be able to jump these two. That's the plan moving forwards in this Singapore Grand Prix. We're going a little bit wide there, which shows just how hard I'm pushing to stay with these guys, and I'm finding more and more confidence as the circuit dries up. So into the pit lane, and we have made an early stop, but the problem is our teammate has followed us in. Now, I am taking a gamble. I think mediums will go to the end, so I'm going to try it. While everyone else is going hard, I'm going to go mediums and try and get these to the end. So I'm hoping that will work out for me, although I've nearly gone wide coming out of the pits. Luckily for us, no harm done there as we rejoin this race on medium tyres. And that should give us an early advantage on some of the guys in front of us, because instead of going on to hards, we've gone to mediums. But this might come back on us towards the end of the race. But I'm not worried about that. Right now we're setting purple sectors, and this is a good move to change onto mediums. Everyone is starting to pit ahead of us now. And there is Sainz, there is Norris, and I think we've cleared them. And we've even cleared Max Verstappen. And we're right behind Russell and Alonso now in 4th position. So that's not too bad, is it? And they're on hard tyres that they need to get up to temperature, which is going to be quite hard in drying conditions to do so. We're already up to temperature on our mediums, so we should be able to have an advantage for a good couple laps here. Look at us, really pushing now to have a go at Fernando Alonso. It's going to be a matter of doing it on the straight if we can. But again, Fernando Alonso, the wily old fox, he's going to be a hard driver to get past. We're now in P3 though, so there was one more ahead of us that needed to stop and did so. But here we go. This is the move now for P2. Sizing up Fernando Alonso. Can we find a way through down the inside? Yes, we can. Alonso caught napping a little bit there as we take second place. Now pressuring George Russell in the Mercedes for the lead of the Grand Prix. This is absolutely incredible for us. But, like I said, we will have a tyre advantage just for a short while, so we need to make it count while we can. And here we are pressuring the race leader now, trying to find a way through to overtake George Russell. The pressure is on. We are right on his gearbox as we come round the right-hander into the DRS zone. DRS open, overtake, activate. Russell goes to defend and we go into him there as I'm trying to anticipate where to go. We're going to now take it round the outside. Russell covers. We're going to have a little go down the inside here. Again, Russell's covered well. And Russell has the inside here. I'm going to try and go around the outside and make that work. We have made it work. And we take the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Incredible scenes here. As not only are we leading the race, but we are pulling away from George Russell. And in the space of a few laps, the gap is over 2.5 seconds. And Russell has got more problems from Alonso and Verstappen behind than him giving us an issue in front. So Russell is pretty preoccupied with the drivers behind, and that is allowing us to just disappear up the road in this stage of the Singapore Grand Prix. But it's a case of how long are the tyres going to go, and they will go pretty quickly. But look at us leading the way, and Lewis Hamilton has an engine issue. Lewis Hamilton finds himself out of the race, so that's one less problem for us, and the gap is now up to 4 seconds to Russell and Alonso. And we're just, at the moment, the last lap or two, we are holding the gap at around 4 seconds. So we're no longer quicker, and they're matching our pace. It's a little bit worrying, to be honest. And as the race starts progressing, our tyres are starting to just lose a bit of life. And we've got 8 laps to go, and Russell, Alonso and co are now starting to catch us, where our tyres are starting to lose life. They're on hard, so their tyres have got plenty of life left in them, and I'm needing to get on it now to try and keep this lead. But the tyres are going to offer less and less grip every lap that goes by. Russell is right behind us. Russell here might have a go for the lead. I'm going to cover the inside. Russell has a go for the outside. Russell trying to sweep round here. I've left him the space on the inside. George now trying to complete the move that we did on him, and it doesn't work. George Russell having to settle for second at this moment in time. But every lap my tyres are getting worse and worse. And George Russell's out of the race! George Russell's engine has let go. And the biggest threat is now Fernando Alonso from behind. George Russell out of the race. What a dramatic twist this Grand Prix has offered us. And now Fernando Alonso's going for the race lead. I've tried to run him out wide, but Alonso hasn't scared as easy as Russell. Alonso forcing his way down the inside. Is he going to complete the move that we did on Russell? Round the outside goes Fernando Alonso, and now he takes the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. And I am desperately trying to hold on to tyres that just don't have the life in them anymore. And Alonso takes the lead. We're down to P2. And the question is, can I hold on to that, or are we going to lose further places here? Because these tyres every lap are feeling worse and worse. And here comes Max Verstappen now. He's going to have a look to the outside of turn 1. We're going to go for the inside, but look how much grip Verstappen has. And I lit up the rear tyres on the exit, and that allowed Verstappen through. But now we're approaching a DRS zone, so can we take Max Verstappen back? Answer, we couldn't do anything, not with these tyres. We're now on the penultimate lap, and they are all but gone. We're now trying to defend from Carlos Sainz as he has a look round the outside. We're trying to hold on to a podium, but just look at the traction advantage Sainz has. He's nearly hit the wall though, and he's had to back out, which means I have a little advantage here, and we're just going to take the inside line. Carlos having to back out. Can we hold on to grab a second successive podium? It was looking like a race win, but the tyres just aren't holding on. And now here comes Carlos Sainz going down the inside. I'm trying to leave as much room as I can respectively while forcing him in tight and trying to keep him behind. And Sainz having to stay behind for now, but we've got a DRS zone coming. And that is, the right front is feeling absolutely horrible. As Sainz now has a go down this DRS straight. We're going to go to the inside to cover. And Sainz turning in, making contact with us. He's gone round the outside. He's made it work. We've got into Sainz under brakes. And we've damaged our front wing. And, well, getting a bit too desperate to hold on there. And we have now damaged the wing. We're going to go a little bit wide here due to the damage and the lack of tyre grip. Norris goes through, so does Piastri. We have fallen from P3 to P6 on the last lap. It looked like a podium, but we have bottled it hard. The tyre strategy in the end was just not the right way to go, and that has cost us. And, well, I've lost even more of the wing now going wide there. We should be able to hold on to P6 though, because Perez is over 7 seconds behind and we've only got one sector left, so it shouldn't be too hard to hold on. I'm just going to cut across the escape road there. Fernando Alonso then wins the Singapore Grand Prix, but for us it's an opportunity missed. It's P6 and that's a bit of a sore, bitter pill to swallow.
Checkered flag, all eyes on the car approaching. Your winner today, Fernando Alonso.
What a wonderful drive to see them come from far down the grid to win the race. Those days are the ones that throw the biggest challenges at you, and to stick out and win it is an incredible job.
The Aston Martin team will be very happy with today's performance. And of course, the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork. And a well-deserved first-place finish.
Well, what a race it was. We led for the most part, but in the end, we just weren't able to hold on. The tyres weren't able to hold on. I think we took too much out of them trying to gap George Russell. But yeah, the last couple of laps, we just didn't really have any tyre grip whatsoever. And that is how Carlos Sainz was able to get through. Then I made a mistake of trying to fight him too hard. I missed my braking spot and damaged my wing. Without that damage, I think we could have held on to P4, but with the damage, we just had no grip and ended up dropping behind the McLarens to 6th. But your top 5 is Alonso, Verstappen, Sainz, Norris and Piastri, with myself, Perez, Stroll, Leclerc and Gasly completing the top 10 in that race. Still some very solid points scored for us, including the fastest lap, but it could have been more. But we are edging towards Lance Stroll in 10th in the standings. But meanwhile, Fernando Alonso has jumped Charles Leclerc, but I think he's too far behind to make anything of a championship attempt on Max Verstappen. Verstappen, I think, has got this one in the bag. But I am eyeing Lance Stroll's 10th place now. I think with more solid points finishes and maybe another podium finish, we can jump him. And in the Constructors, we're looking pretty safe for 6th now, aren't we? Oh, that was a missed opportunity. But thank you so much for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe. Thank you for watching. TTFN, ta-ta for now, take care, and I'll see you all soon.